Every YouTube channel has been covering this game for the past month. It even crashed the Steam Online store during its launch because of the amount of players trying to purchase the game. It's making big numbers, dare I say even comparable to some games made by bigger studios and publishers. Heck, it even became the most wishlisted game, overtaking Hades 2. What's crazier is that it's still in early access, but it's already performing better than some of the AAA games. Would you believe me if I told you that this game was made by a single person? Yes, a single person. I just bought the game and I already have this much hours in, and I'm not yet done. So basically, it's a city builder in a fictional land in the medieval era. You start with 5 families, each family containing a few individuals that do their individual work. Basically, the goal of the game is to start from scratch with just a settlement camp and then slowly build a community that turns into a small town, that turns into its own self-sustaining economy, establishing your own trade, and then eventually you see the transformation from a meager settlement camp into a big, intricate medieval city. Is a lot like Banished. But unlike Banished, you can also build a militia on the side and start claiming and conquering other regions. But this isn't really the focus of the game. It's more focused on its city building aspect. When I first started, I had a hard time trying to figure out the design of my town because I wanted everything to be perfect. Eventually though, I was able to make it through my first town, even after the countless raids from the bandits and the rebuilding of the things that they burnt and the occasional running out of resources. I was also able to build my manor and tax my people so hard that I thought I was turning into George III, and eventually claimed other territories. I mean, look at this. I have 3 territories. 3 cities, right? So I gotta manage all 3 of these locations. I started with this territory called Goldhof. Lots of battles happen in this region, lots of dead bodies and famine and raiders, but we were able to pull through and now it looks like a legitimate medieval town, I guess. And then I expanded over to this region. I don't know, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but yeah, eventually I also expanded to my 3rd region, which is the youngest of my 3 cities. What's interesting is each region has a specific rich resource. For example, my first one, it has a rich resource of wild animals. So my people basically never go hungry. And as you can see here, I have 2 hunting cabins, because it's rich. I can get as much resources from this area. And not only do you get meat from the wild animals, your workers also get their hides, which you can then turn into clothing. And then in this other region, we have a rich amount of iron ores. So now what you can do basically is set up a barter system between regions through a packing station. This one, For example, in my first region, I need some iron ore so that I can process it in the bloomery and turn it to iron slabs, which will then be used in making weapons such as spears or armors. And since most of our steel making industry is in the first city, what I can do is set up a trade barter between this region and the region with the iron ores. So we can take in iron ores and then in return we can provide resources that they may need. Now, this is just one of many features of the game. I would say the challenge for me now is in micromanaging 3 different cities. Like, I have to check each and every one of these locations to make sure not one city implodes by lack of management, because things can go south really fast if you don't pay attention to your village need, And I can only imagine having to micromanage other cities once I claimed all these other regions, But I think at some point your city is gonna be able to self-sustain by itself, like my first one. I don't have to check as much here since everything's working really fine here, and if anything, there's like surplus, Anyways, guys, if you're looking for a city builder with a hint of RTS elements and you're a fan of this era, then I highly recommend you guys check out this game. Be informed that this is not a total war game, so don't expect large-scale battles. At most, you're only going to be managing a few hundred soldiers. Also, this game is still in early access, so there's a lot of functionalities and even development branches and policies that are still missing. Even entire game features are still locked from the early access. But in spite of the early access release, the game already had a big patch balancing the game. So this gives me an impression that the developer really cares about this project, and you can really tell just from the ambience, the vibes, the music, the feel, that this game, 7 years in the making, is really a passion project of his. And in my experience, when the developers really love creating the game that they want, it tends to produce positive results. So yeah, this game deserves all the hype it gets, even though it's still in its early access, and we should support this if we can, guys, because games like these give us hope that corporate greed still hasn't completely taken over the industry. I know this game is very different from what I usually upload, but I just had to let you guys know. Have you guys played Manor Lords? What do you guys think about this game? Comment below and let me know. If y'all want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.